Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back. Playing some, not playing some more, watching some, watching some more videos, some more content. And we watch. Huh. Hey, let me unsubscribe to this game. Damn. Everyone, don't follow this guy. Don't support this guy. This guy is a total piece of shit. Terrible, terrible, terrible fur. There's always so many videos that we talk about. What's this? All right, let's see what
Hey,
they
what's up,
got
everybody? Welcome back to
happening
News Ghost,
here.
and
Happening. Okay. Happening. Okay, it's working. A little freaked out. Like, okay, happening, Jay Wood.
we have
Got
a couple bizarre stories to talk about that caught me a little off guard. Both these stories I wasn't expecting to talk about, but here we are because Xbox is now pushing their newest and now biggest yearly franchise, Call of Duty. The marketing campaign is here, though not everybody necessarily likes it. Yeah, welcome to the world of gaming where absolutely everybody seems to like to complain, and we're going to talk about that today. Then also the Sega and Nintendo rivalry is back. Well, at least Sega might think so, and we're going to talk about that as well. Before we get started, though, do make sure to hit that subscribe and ring that bell. By doing that, it makes it a little bit easier to stay updated as I post these videos every weekday, Monday through Friday. And based on my analytics, there's still about 50% of you who aren't currently subscribed. So make it a little bit easier on yourself and do hit those buttons below. With that said, though, let's just go and jump right into the video, starting off with a surprising and very welcome update for Gran Turismo 7. This includes a pretty major feature, which also comes at a rather interesting time. We'll come back to that here in just a second, but you can see the full update here. It includes an opening movie, 7 new cars, a new circuit, 3
A lot of new
campaign-additional
content.
menus, up
Four player split screen. Who the fuck still does four player split screen? I mean, most games can't do two player split screen, let alone four player split screen. I mean, that's like we haven't seen that since like the N64, maybe early PS2 days. Like I don't remember any PS3 games. I mean, there's some games you can play with four people, but not split screen. It was all one screen. It was like four. That's like Castle Crashers, one of those type of games.
update to the world circuit,
Good job, Gran Turismo.
Sophie, which is an
Good
AI-driven agent
updates.
with Quick Race for PlayStation 5 only. 50 challenges are being added to the licenses, which is pretty nice to see. Paddock added to the multiplayer menu. And then, and this is the big new feature that everybody's talking about, it comes with, check it out, 4-player split-screen races, though, again, it's PlayStation 5 only. Now, it being PlayStation 5 only, I don't think that that's overly surprising. Split screen is kind of a rare commodity for modern day games because it is tough to compact all of those visuals and effects to multiple split screen users. And I can
You
understand
gotta have
how
a
that
pretty
might
big
be
ass
difficult
TV, man.
with the
You're
PlayStation
like an
4.
85-inch
The
TV.
fact that it's now available on the PlayStation 5, though, is really great to see. Again, it's just so rare anymore to get these big AAA games with split screen. And, that's really too bad. Racing games do actually make for great local multiplayer games, but the timing of all of this is also rather interesting. See, Forza on Xbox, that released just last month, and currently it doesn't have split screen. So here you have Gran Turismo, and with it adding local split screen, that does give it more publicity to compete with the brand new
That's a very nice
Forza.
feature to
And
add. I mean,
that's something that I really
I'm
like.
glad Gran Turismo was finally fixing itself because it wasn't that great when it first came out. It was lacking a lot of features. There was the sold out of cars. All those microtransactions. People were not happy. Like real Gran Turismo fans were not happy. It took them what was it like 7 months the game to make it playable.
Like
Nice.
to see.
Hopefully
I
Forza
love
can be
seeing that
in better
competitive
shape
spirit,
as well.
and we are seeing some back and forths between Forza and Gran Turismo. They're not being hostile about any of this, but it wasn't all that long
Supra
ago that Turn 10 they were boasting that Forza
33.
has ray tracing while actually racing, which is poking fun at Gran Turismo, which only uses it in replays. And now here you have GT7 with local split screen, and Forza, well, it currently doesn't have that. And
Star
more or less,
RPG.
what we're seeing here is that this just really pushes both of them to improve their games. Maybe this will be motivation for Turn 10 to add split screen down the road as well for Forza, because as I've
Yeah,
said time and time
we
again
didn't
on
get
this
split
channel,
screen for Halo.
competition breeds excellence. And GT7 and Forza is a pretty good example of that. They keep each other in check. They continuously push each other to be better. If you are interested in this update, though, it's actually available right now. Moving on, though, speaking of competition between PlayStation and Xbox, in a bit of a surprise, the Xbox Series actually beat out the PlayStation 5 in Japan this week, according to the latest Famitsu charts. This is actually only the fourth time this has happened this generation, but you can see here the Xbox Series sold 3,300 units in Japan, the PlayStation 5 sold 2,900, and then Nintendo Switch, well, yeah, that thing just continues to dominate Japan with 66,000.
Also look at the total life of sales. The Switch was 3 million. Xbox only 121,800. That's not a lot, and 2 million for the PS5. I know the Xbox Series X console is gonna. I think that's to be surpassing the Xbox, the original Xbox. I think it's gonna be passing up the original Xbox and the Xbox sales chart. So yeah, here's the Xbox Series. I beat Xbox. I better beat the OG Xbox pretty soon. And only 58 million. It can beat that pretty easily too. I think 360 as well. But well, we need to see it actually hit over 100K. It needs to get in the top here because mostly all this is PlayStation and Nintendo. PS2, DS, Switch is up there soon. Game Boy Color, PS4, PlayStation 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 consoles are up there. Yes. What about the PSP? PS4 was okay here, pretty good. GameCube, not so much. Better pass up the GameCube and Retro. PS Vita, the Wii U, barely anything. Sega Dreamcast, much 9 million units. Jesus Christ, that's a pretty bad failure. Even the crappy Xbox One sold. All right, let's back it all back.
Units sold. The Switch over there legitimately is crazy. It's already the third best selling console in Japan ever made. So the fact that it continues to put up big numbers like this is impressive. But the big story here really is that the Xbox Series outsold PlayStation simply because this just doesn't happen all that often. So there's been a lot of headlines over this story today, but honestly, the reason that this happened isn't necessarily because Xbox had some huge surge in Japan. That's not what happened here. Now, it's doing reasonably well for the Xbox brand in Japan, which that's notable in itself.
I should look up Xbox's sales. Console sales in Japan. All right, let's look at this. Here's my Microsoft Xbox 360 sold 1 million units total. The original OG Xbox, 400 units. Ain't half a million. Xbox Series S and X is already past where the OG Xbox is. Original Xbox One, only 140,000 units. My God, really bad. So far, the Xbox Series X and S is already doing way better than full sales of original OG Xbox. Xbox One, 40,000 units. My God, what was that? I know. Microsoft had a bad time in Japan. Any 200,000 units. When's the next unit? It's halfway there to the original OG Xbox 360. They probably passed it up. Would it get any higher than that? I don't think so. North America, Xbox. That's it. The Xbox 360. Wow, the Xbox 360 also the PS3 in Canada. PS5, that's all. So, it would be the Xbox. It. United States. Okay, here we go. Microsoft Xbox 360. 38 million units. PlayStation. Original OG Microsoft. 15 million. Yeah, I don't see. Uh, it's not good. Xbox 360, 7 million units. Original OG Xbox. 5 million. Ants. Lemonade. Xbox 360 only 200,000. All the Xbox ones is selling. All the Xbox ones are in the Spain. Xbox 360. Barely over 1 million units. The Xbox One, 300 to 5. I have an exact number. Right. Interesting. The United Kingdom. The Xbox 360. 3 million units. Australia. 700,000 units. Africa. From the looks of it, the Xbox 360 did pretty darn well in most places. Xbox One obviously doesn't have any sales units. I think Microsoft was so embarrassed to get it. It was like over 100 million units. Yeah, 100 like 100 million units like PS4. Barely 50 Xbox One. So bad. The PS5 is doing better than the Xbox Series X, but not. But it's not as big as a gap. Like the gap is slowing down a lot. Xbox consoles. Xbox consoles is doing better. More games on there. People enjoying that stuff.
But there is another explanation here because what seems to be happening is that Sony is preparing for the PlayStation 5 Slim revision. It's speculated that Sony's not restocking the PlayStation 5 until the revision releases, which Does make sense. We know for a fact that the PS5 revision is meant to replace the current model, so it sounds like they may already be selling out ahead of that revision and they're just not restocking. That seems fairly logical, but with that said, though, the fact that the Xbox Series is selling 3,000 plus units in a single week, and it's already sold 121,000 this year so far, that's still great to see in comparison to what happened last generation. So this is still significant in the sense
Oh
that
yeah, man, they
Xbox
were
is selling
barely
these
selling any
units.
units, man. I remember like the figures we had sometimes were like really shameful too. Like, oh man, here's it was like 40 or 50 units, man. While like the PS5 and PS4 was selling at least 2 to 3,000 amount.
Well in Japan, whereas last generation, the Xbox One was essentially non existent. I mean, just to put things into perspective here, though, the Xbox Series this year alone has sold more than the Xbox One did during its entire life. So, yeah, if anything, the results really just speaks to how much Xbox has improved this generation in Japan. Now, another big improvement that we've seen from Xbox, really, I'd say just this year, has been with their marketing. They have really ramped up their marketing efforts this year, and we saw a lot of that with Starfield, which is kind of hilarious looking back on it. There was a ridiculous amount of discourse leading up to Starfield's release. I don't believe that I've ever.
I think one of the biggest weaknesses right now of the Xbox is marketing is not doing that well. At least like traditional marketing. Like you have to. I hate to say, you gotta have the billboards, you gotta have the ads on TV, have it on chips and soda. Okay, but unless you're actually playing Call of Duty or Halo, you're not gonna be consumed to Mountain Dew and Doritos. Get the extra P. And you gotta have that word of mouth. You gotta have like a lot more things to say. Hopefully, there'll be people like me on Twitter or me streaming games. Hopefully, I could be streaming games again soon. Me streaming on the Xbox Series X console. Oh, pushes units. You guys can go out and buy an Xbox. 'Cause it's a really good console. Like my brother bought an Xbox because of Game Pass. So good. We love it.
Seen a game get just
Good
so
ass
much
shit though.
logical discourse. It's shameful, really. And one of the quote unquote concerns was about its marketing. At the time, apparently, a 1 hour showcase of its gameplay wasn't quite enough, and there was a question going around on why isn't Xbox talking about Starfield? Apparently, it was claimed that nobody cared about Starfield. Yeah, 11
They,
million players later, I guess that discourse was wrong, unsurprisingly.
Man, I really want to
But
play
one part
Starfield
of
again, man.
Starfield's
Once I
success
figure out my
was
audio
its
issues,
marketing.
I'm playing more
Starfield was
Starfield.
plastered
This
absolutely
game,
everywhere. They had a treasure
so
hunt like
good.
event. They had big billboards across the world. It was at Gamescom. It was all over YouTube, and they even partnered up with Imagine Dragons to make a music video. They honestly did a great job with its marketing, and one of the things that they did is that they notified all Xbox owners when it released. Now, how they did this is that when you first turn on your Xbox, you were greeted with a Starfield ad, and it just simply said that it was out or whatever, and then that was pretty much it. You could either look more into it, or you could just simply press B and be off on your merry old day. That ad would never show up again. It is a one-time only thing. It's honestly a great way to let Xbox owners know that their next big game is out, and that's something that they're now doing with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It's hard to believe, but they do technically own this game now. And if you boot your Xbox of today, you might be greeted with this ad right here for Modern Warfare 3. Though, again, you can simply press B and it'll be gone forever. Now, when I first heard about this news, I'm like, okay, Xbox is starting to figure something out. Their marketing is actually on point this year. And again, I think that this is a fantastic way of letting fans who bought into their ecosystem know that their next big game is
Oh
about to
shit! It
release.
looks like
That's
that
part of
Gulag
why they
from
bought into their
like,
ecosystem in the first place, because they want to
Warzone.
play their
Looks
games.
exactly like
Not
Warzone.
everybody's like us. A lot of people don't keep up with the latest games and their release dates. However, the reaction to this has been quite interesting. I've seen a lot of people today online complain that this is awful, Xbox is being intrusive, and this, that, and the other. And I was genuinely surprised by this response. See, earlier in the year, fans were complaining that Xbox wasn't marketing enough. Now, some of those same people are complaining that they're doing too much advertising.
There's no such thing as too much advertising, especially for video games. Because video games, unfortunately, are a very expensive thing to buy. So when you sell that game, you have to make sure you're getting every penny to sell that unit, whether it be a digital copy or a physical copy of that unit. Sorry, I mean,
Which is even more interesting when you think about it because Starfield did the exact same thing and people weren't complaining about that. So, what's the difference here? I think the only difference here is that it might be being highlighted a little bit more online. So, you're going to have more people maybe jump on the bandwagon. But in reality, this ad, it pops up on your screen during its boot up. And all you do to dismiss it is press one single button. That's it, and you'll never see it again. Like I said, it's basically a notification to say, our next big game is here. It's not like they're advertising for shoes or something like that. It's for their own first party games, which, yeah, Xbox owners very well might be interested to hear when their next game will be out. I think for a lot of people,
I mean, I'm tired of weird idiots who think, "Oh man, Xbox isn't advertising well." Like, okay, I talk about Xbox not advertising well, but I'm not an idiot. Like, no, I'm not complaining about this ad open to. I really want to see like billboards, buses, wrap it around, yeah, wrap it around buses, wrap it around, the light rail, the ads, at a stadium, on TV, not just on Twitch, not just on my phone, on YouTube, but like on my TV. Like, if I'm watching, the Rockets play. I should see, hey, there's gonna be a new Call of Duty trailer. Be excited for the new Call of Duty trailer. Hold up, guys.
Oh my god. I got wombo combo, man.
Alrighty then, I'm back. I quickly take care of something. Apologize. Please enjoy the content.
and then they're going to move on with their merry old day. They're probably not going to really think too much about it. But this is the internet that we're talking about, and the internet likes to complain. But anyways, I don't know. To me, it just feels like some people are making a mountain out of a molehill, which is not some rare occurrence on the internet. People like to complain a lot on the internet. If you haven't noticed, social media is filled with this type of stuff.
Yeah, full of a
But in
lot
this
more.
case, no, I don't think this simple ad is intrusive. I don't think it's going to be some huge nuisance that some people are trying to make it out to be online. Now, if Xbox was doing this every single day with a bunch of non-gaming related ads, or if they had long-winded, unskippable ads, well, then I might feel different. But for the time being, I see this as harmless. Now, that's just my own personal opinion, but I want to hear y'all's opinions on this as well. You might disagree with me, and hey, I'm okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna put my opinion. If I was going to buy them, Why can't I spell right now? And that just
Okay with that as well. I just want to hear your opinions on the matter as well, so let me know in the comments below.
Vanguard Financial Advice can help you save for vacation, retirement, your first home, and more. We're here to help you do you. Discover Vanguard Advice Services.
Sometimes I need to paraphrase.
It's easy to make your work clearer and
Okay, now, next up here, and this one's almost kind of amusing, but I guess we're back in the 90s again because Sega is motivated to take on the behemoth that is Mario. Apparently, in a Google translated statement, Sega mentioned that they want Sonic to be bigger than Mario. This is coming from the Sega executive director, and he said, simply put, I want to surpass Mario. Sonic is a game that was originally developed to compete with Mario, and it still hasn't achieved that goal. Our goal is to catch up and surpass Mario because we respect Mario. I want people to play it all over the world, including Japan, like Mario, and I want the movie to be a bigger hit than Mario. I would like Universal Studios Japan to create a Sonic area as well. That's our goal for those of us who love Sonic.
hell yeah, that's pretty
I know
cool. I would
everybody's
love
kind
to
of
see
poking
that.
fun at this statement
Bring
right
that to
now as
America
well.
too.
It feels like that ship is kind of sailed. Sega had their opportunity in the 90s, and I mean, they did a good job back then, but over time, Mario has kind of separated itself from Sonic. Sonic, unfortunately, has been a much more hit and miss franchise, whereas Mario has consistently, for the most part, remained at the top in terms of quality and sales. There's also the fact that Mario is such an expansive series. There's
I mean, yeah, Mario has been very, very good. Obviously, you have the original Mario games, NES, Super NES, and then on GameCube, you had Sunshine, you had Luigi's Mansion, you have Strikers, you had all that, and on the Wii, you had like the baseball game and all that type of stuff. And you had different, Mario Galaxy like games, and you had the new Super Mario game on the DS and 3DS. Yeah, I think you had some on iPhone. I remember that was really big and popular. Unfortunately, Sega after I mean, they were pretty good with the 2D, and then when it came to 3D, Sonic Adventure 1 was okay. Sonic Adventure 2 was great. Sonic Adventure Heroes wasn't half bad, and I think it was Sonic '06 that pretty much killed Sonic for a while and became kind of above a joke. You had Shadow the Hedgehog, you had the Wii games like Secret Rings and the Night one, and then you had obviously you had Sonic 4, which was bad, and then you had Sonic Mania, which was good, and then you had Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, and you had Sonic Forces, which was very good. Then you had Sonic game Sonic Unleash. A lot of people didn't like that one. Plus, I mean, but you had Sonic Boom, which great, and you had Sonic X. Well, then you have two good movies back to back. So yes, I mean Sonic is back on the rise. I think people like Sonic, but he's still seen as kind of a gimmick character still, sadly. Maybe Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, Rouge, Silver, Blaze, the Babylon Rouge, which would be Wave, Jet, and Storm. Remember? And you have Team Chaos, which is Tiny B, SPO the Chameleon, Infector Croc. I mean, you had the comic books, which was apparently really, really good. But yeah, that was it. I mean, do you have any Legos? Do you have any you need like a Lego thing, Funko Pops, statues and figures? That people want to collect and have. Comic books. You already have coloring books would be a good one, and just general merchandise. Like, can I buy new, Sonic shirts, shorts, headbands, phone cases? that type of stuff. I mean, I forgot which basketball team. Yeah, it's a basketball team that uses I think Sonic's little ring noise when they make a free throw, which is that's kind of cool. I know gas stations use Sonic's ring thing as for when you're paying cash or paying a credit card or something. That's kind of interesting, but that's it. You can do way more with Sonic and his friends. You just gotta make them a little more different, a little more unique. Like Sonic and Tails are together, his best friends. Shadow's a good rival. Knuckles is a good friend. Silver and Blaze show up. Um, Amy's an actual good, good character and like I guess girlfriend for Sonic. Don't make her useless like Sakura at times or Hinata, or Hime. All right, people. Hopefully that helps out. Hopefully that helps.
Mario Kart, there's Mario Party,
Mario Kart, yeah.
RPG,
Mario
3D
Party.
Mario, 2D Mario, and you kind of catch my drift. It's a massive, massive
Oh, yeah.
series. So the likely chance of Sonic actually catching Mario in modern day times seems a little unlikely. It's probably not going to happen. But you know what? I like this statement. I think that this is the exact mentality that Sega should have. Now, I said earlier in this video, I like that competitive spirit, and I meant that because competition breeds excellence, and that's what I'm seeing from this statement. If anything else, this is motivation for Sega to step their game up, which they have been doing in the last few years. They just tried something new with Sonic Superstars. Last year, Sonic Frontiers was, in my opinion, among their best 3D Sonic games ever. They also just had The Murder of Sonic, which was well received among fans, and the movies are pretty good as well. So if this motivation was a part of that, hey, kudos to them. I think that they're doing a better job now than what they were before. Now, with that said, do I think Sonic will ever surpass Mario? No, absolutely not. But I do like their mentality, and I think it should be their focus even if it feels unachievable. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, and leaning into yesterday's rumor, I wanted to ask you all, would you be interested in a God of War Ragnarok spinoff based on Atreus? And 26% of you said yes.
Right? I was Sonic. Like what? Any good or bad? I can't tell. See, what did IGN say? IGN. We'll see how reliable IGN.
I'm the hero here.
You're not yourself.
We can fight this together.
19 inches of venom. Oh yeah.
Most Sonic games put the pedal to the metal, but Sonic Superstars trades the traditional breakneck pace for new Chaos Emerald abilities, a larger focus on exploration, and slightly more challenging bosses. That stylistic shift works well for the majority of Superstars, as a slightly different flavor of Sonic can be fun. I couldn't help but feel like it was missing the main thing I love about the series: speed.
Sonic has speed, but the most important thing was not just mindless speed. It was very simple. It was speed with a purpose. When you're going through the levels, killing the enemies, dodging this, grabbing the little pickups, whether it be extra rings or a shield. That was it. Okay.
Sonic Superstars campaign is split into 3 stories across 11 zones all over the new North Star Islands, showcasing flashy levels that occasionally draw inspiration from other well-known stages in Sonic's history.
But
For example,
always
the
cycles.
Sea Jungle Zone brings back the use of vines from the original Sonic the Hedgehog's Jungle Zone. Pinball Carnival puts both a fun and spooky twist on Sonic 3's Carnival Night Zone, and the Press Factory is a more industrial version of the Press Garden Zone from Sonic Mania. I don't think any of the new stages will crack the top of my list of all-time Sonic favorites, but there are a lot of great additions to the series here, and I enjoyed that each one has a cool quirk with it. One is a giant snake burrowing throughout the level that gives you a slight bounce when moving along it, while another has patches of thick fog that obscure your vision. I also really enjoyed Lagoon City, which felt like a giant water theme park and made the best use of the new water power granted by one of the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh wow, water powers. Finally, songs
There are
had
multiple
drowning.
routes to take in each level. The higher you ascend, the faster the route, while the lower routes focus even more on the platforming side. At first, it was fun to explore those lower routes using different playable characters and the various Chaos Emerald powers to explore their less streamlined paths for secrets, but after discovering my only reward for that exploration was either more rings or a currency used on cosmetics in the lackluster multiplayer battle mode, there wasn't much incentive to try and navigate the extra hazards and enemies. That meant I eventually just wanted to stick to some good old-fashioned going fast, but even when I took the highest routes, I didn't feel the speed I've come to expect over the past 30 years of Sonic. It wasn't until after the 15 hours I spent clearing all the story content that I was able to go back and start to find more efficient routes in order to get a better feeling of that speed. Still, that doesn't help the fact that everything feels a bit too slow out the gate for your first playthrough. Collecting the Chaos Emeralds is more straightforward than ever this time, as the increased focus on exploration encouraged me to seek out the giant golden rings that hide them during my travels. Finding one sends you off to play a short minigame to earn the emerald, which ended up being the one minigame I didn't mind stopping for, as it was both entertaining and rewarding. And the Chaos Emeralds are no longer relegated to only granting Sonic the ability to go super, as each one now grants a unique power. Abilities like cool. Avatar and Bullet became quick favorites of mine. Avatar creates clones that race across the screen, while Bullet lets you launch yourself in the direction of your choice multiple times. Bullet became extremely helpful when playing as Sonic specifically too, as he lacks the extra movement options you get when you play as Tails, Knuckles, or Amy.
Interesting.
Superstars 3 campaign story pits Sonic and friends against Eggman and Fang, though Eggman does most of the heavy lifting. He'll challenge you regularly with various egg machines shaped like clowns, dragonflies, and giant mechs, and more.
Oh, so he looks more like his
old
old
constantly
self.
bouncing to destroy them quickly.
Oh.
Long sections of them being untargetable as you wait to counter specific attacks can mean bosses often outstay their welcome, as they sometimes double or triple the completion time of a stage. Meanwhile, Fang might have some of the most challenging boss fights in any Sonic game. With small vulnerability windows to take damage, multiple phases, and numerous one-hit kill attacks that ignore your collection of rings. This started as a welcome difficulty spike, but became flat-out frustrating after fights started to drag on and on.
I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Enjoy
Fang.
Superstar's phenomenal soundtrack as you fight them, with music that matches the theme of each stage perfectly. I couldn't find one that didn't have me tapping my toes to their percussive and electronic beats. Nearly every track, with a special shout out to Lagoon City Act 2, had me replaying their stages just to idle and listen to their music.
That's pretty cool. It's been a long time Sonic had some good music, man.
Unfortunately, the sound design isn't up to the same standard. I don't know who thought listening to this for minutes on end was a good idea. I ended up muting my TV at times to keep myself from getting a splitting headache.
That's nice.
Superstars also includes 4-player drop-in, drop-out local co-op, but as great as this sounds, it could be better in its execution. The experience is clever at its best and frustrating at its worst, as the camera doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason for who it decides to follow. Sometimes it would track me as Sonic as I sped past my co-op partner playing Knuckles, while other times it would allow me to run off the screen while he climbed a wall. This type of thing was a constant occurrence.
Kind of weird.
It's
We better figure
also
it
a
split
shame that
cell.
Superstars doesn't feature any accessibility settings, and many actions require repetitive button presses. This would be fine if it weren't a common occurrence, but anyone who wants to make full use of flying as Tails needs to constantly press the jump button to ascend in height.
Yes, and that's
The worst
makes
offender, though, is one of the later bosses that can capture you in an electric web, and if you fail to break free via button mashing, it hits you with a one-hit KO move. Outside of the campaign, the battle mode and time attack mode are pretty bare bones. I don't expect a lot from a time attack mode, and this one at least does have simple leaderboards to see others in your best times. It's serviceable if you want to know just how fast you gotta go, but it's a bummer that you can only challenge the ghost of your own best times and not those who may have ranked higher on the leaderboard, which would be immensely helpful in learning the best routes to improve my own times. As for the 8-player battle mode, everyone but the most die-hard Sonic fans will probably abandon it as soon as they finish their first match. You and up to 7 others create a robot based on a variety of animals and Sonic characters to compete in 3 random minigames across various maps, which are equally simple and only mildly entertaining at best. I only
Pretty
saw
stupid
4
and bad.
minigame options
Jesus
in the 10 or
Christ.
so matches played, a standard race to the finish, a survival game that challenges you to stay on crumbling platforms, a game called Star Snatcher where you must collect more stars than your opponents, and finally Zap Scrap, which has you blasting opponents with sparks of electricity for points. The higher you place after 3 rounds, the more giant Sonic coins you'll be rewarded with, which you can spend in the shop to customize your avatar. You can also earn these coins during the campaign, as anytime you pass a checkpoint with more than 50 rings, it opens a portal that takes you into the classic Sonic minigame, where you must maneuver around the inside of a rotating set of blocks to reach the goal. These were fun initially, but as they began to repeat themselves, I started avoiding them sometimes during the first campaign, and then almost every time in the second, because they just slowed the pacing of the stage down even further. I started Hedgehog over heels for Sonic Superstars, but the more time I put into it, the easier it was for me to see its Eggman-sized flaws. The decision to focus on exploration was a great idea on paper, and creates a unique dynamic to each level, but I wish it hadn't sacrificed speed in exchange. The boss designs are creative and clever, but often wear out their welcome with long periods of being untargetable and occasionally frustrating one-hit KO mechanics. The soundtrack features some excellent additions to an already long list of Sonic bangers, if only the sound design was up to the same quality standard. And while the campaign is still enjoyable, Superstars multiplayer components are far worse options than anything in the past Sonic games. Like digging emeralds out of
does
the
not
rough,
look
Sonic
good.
Superstars' new ideas
Looks
end
like
up
a pain in
feeling
the
like a
ass.
mix of both
I can imagine.
interesting
Oh my
and
god, I can
ill-advised,
imagine.
making it
I can imagine me and Amaro trying to play this shit. Jesus Christ, we're fucking killing each other.
an amusing Sonic game, but not exactly a super one. For more, check out our reviews of Detective Pikachu Returns, or Avatar, The Last Airbender, Quest for Balance. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. Earn 2% cash back on what you want, like a 22-speed road bike. And need. Like a ride back from your ride.
From the beginning, we've dreamed of creating a better.
In my opinion, the only bad part about this game, besides some of the little flaws with the multiplayer, annoying sound design, would be make this game cheaper. Imagine instead of being like what? How much does this game cost? It shouldn't. Hopefully, it doesn't cost $70. Like, Superstar. Let's see. It's big. How much is it? Let's buy. $60. $60 is too much for this game. But if it was a $30 game, I think people would be snatching up, especially for the holidays, especially for Christmas. This is a Christmas game, my friend. This is a game you want to get for Christmas. Let's $1 trillion GDP.
When did you guys achieve $1 trillion GDP? Do you even know what GDP is? Oh, I just hear a lot. I think it has to do with money. I'll make it simple. Like, it's all the goods that the country provided and like the services and stuff. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, anyways, we hit like a trillion back in 1969. Wow, you're early. We hit it in like 1978. Okay, in my defense, my economy wasn't the best in the mid-90s. So yeah, we hit it in 1986. Germany, why wasn't your economy good? You serious? For us, it was 1988. You'd think we'd be better because of all the stealing we did from other countries, but we only hit a trillion in 1990. 1998 for us? Yeah, we only hit it in 2004. Well, for us, it was 2007 because some other country stole from us. Sorry. Wow, 2017 for us. I have a lot of gas money. How did I only hit it in 2022? What are you complaining about? I just hit it this year. Like, yeah, that's the first year our GDP was 1 trillion. At least you made it, Turkey. Yeah, our economy is a joke, though. Countries, when did you guys achieve?
Country's a joke. Let's see. Yeah, man. Well, that's because China's still that's like over 1 billion people, man. The UK's population hasn't gone up that much. I mean, there's more, refugees and migrants, but they don't really do much. They mostly work in low wage jobs. Don't get a whole education.
Love your mother, but
God. Uh, I'm gonna move for Friday Night Fisticuffs. That shit is physical versus digital game. Go bid.
Among the greatest debates of all time, you have the likes of cats versus dogs, chocolate versus vanilla, brushing your teeth versus not brushing your teeth, and lying that you did. But perhaps the greatest of all would be physical versus digital video games. So let's have them duke it out. And hey, would you look at that? Physical games come out swinging, but it's hard to deny the digital game's defense. Yeah, you can't hold a digital game in your hand, whereas a physical game you can, and probably will. Your hands will thank you. And here we have the first big argument in favor of physical games: ownership. People like to feel like they own their games. Real quick before I go to bed, yep, just making sure they're still there. Actually, might as well throw in a kiss goodnight while I'm at it.
Rocket Knight, hell
Hold on
yeah.
a second. Why does
Fucking
some
love Rocket
people
Knight.
say you don't own your games if you have digital copies of them? I mean, it's not like the old days of renting video games where you'll get called up and given a semi-confrontational reminder that your game needs to be brought back. Once
Earthworm
you purchase
Jim.
a digital game, you own it forever until your console's dead. But then you can just buy another console, link your account to it, and download it again, for most consoles at least. And assuming the servers haven't been shut down, boy, do we worry about those servers getting shut down.
Yeah,
And
a lot of games
not
do.
for any particular reason other than, I don't know,
It's-
because they do. But regardless of how reliable they
Blink
may or
can
may
get
not
shot by
sound to
sniper
you,
rifles.
some people just feel a lot more secure knowing they have a physical copy. People feel reassured to see it sitting on their shelf. Gives them less anxiety about what could potentially happen in the future. Do I trust the higher-ups at some massive company to not pull the plug on the servers, or do I trust myself to not drop the game on the ground? Naturally, physical copies of games is something that affects collectors more than others. The idea of digital games over physical games poses a threat to our very passion. How am I supposed to collect physical copies of games if they don't exist? Yeah, that's a tough one. Ideally, there would be both physical and digital copies of games.
I've bought quite a few physical games. I bought Assassin's Creed Garage and Metal Gear Solid Collection. I also pre-ordered the Front Mission, Front Mission, Front Mission remake. I was gonna buy that digitally. Thank God I didn't. Save myself some money. I'm gonna buy it physically instead, and it was nice and cheap.
Games. That way, everybody gets what they want. But the fear is that digital copies of games will eventually take over and be the only option. Wasn't that supposed to have already happened by now, though? Well, as much as digital copies of games have increased in popularity, a market for those who prefer physical copies has remained and seems to be big enough to keep it viable for a certain type of customer when offered on a certain scale. The question will be, for how
Rocket
long?
Knight.
And hey, depending when
Yeah.
you watch this video, maybe it already happened. I mean, things change. That's the way the world works. When it comes to technology, things tend to get more streamlined. Forget games. One day there may not even be physical consoles or controllers. And heck, maybe no TVs either. It can all just happen inside your mind. Check out me playing F-Zero GX. Also, it's worth mentioning that while people talk about digital games being something you can't rely on to have forever, the same could be said of physical games too. Now, let's just say you spend the rest of your existence protecting your games with your life. They could still go bad. The parts inside of a cartridge should last for a very long time, but not forever. And I'm not just talking about those pesky save batteries. Other parts inside the cartridge can go bad too, but again, in most cases, probably not for a really, really long time. And you can at least replace those parts in theory.
Yeah, that's true. You can if you know how to. Like, and oh fucking hell, how did I do that? You can replace parts in carts, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy carts. It's a little harder with discs. As long as you have like a maybe you're lucky you have the scratch remover. I don't know about the old PSP discs. What type of did I'm trying to remember what the hell PlayStation Vita games look like. Yes, yeah, game. Disc? I can't remember. Come on, back. I remember the fucking PSP games were like little mini discs. Shit. Yes. Came on this little thing right here. Universal Media Drive or some shit. I don't know. All of them. Those things were not universal because they only were good for one damn thing. That was fucking PSP. And you have the regular PSP and then you had the PSP Go. Some of it. Go was a lot better. It was a lot smaller and nicer. God dang, that fucking shitty little thumbsticks. Ass. Trying to play like Grand Theft Auto or anything like really like intensive didn't really work. It was fine for like an RPG game, tactics type of game, but
Theory, and heck, you could even just purchase a replacement copy of that game cartridge altogether. But with digital games, you're screwed once the servers go down. Just ask fans of the Silent Hill PT demo, which was infamously taken down. But
yeah, that's
don't
true.
worry, you can still get it no problem. Just look on eBay for a console that still has it downloaded onto the hard drive. Looks like the physical collectors who like to pay big bucks are back in business. The tricky thing
$700.
with digital games is that all the licensing agreements need to be sorted out for a game to be sold digitally. Fans of Marvel vs. Capcom probably feel like the children of a celebrity couple. High divorce rates and not a great chance of staying together for the long haul. But no, it's not your fault they separated. Unsurprisingly, the digital version of that game hasn't always been available. Again, it comes down to not trusting what is going to happen with these digital games moving
That's
forward,
true.
and the desire to future-proof your video games. After all, retro gamers in particular are in the business of playing decades worth of games. When I'm 118 years old, I want to be able to play Choo Choo Rocket with my great-great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
What about disc rot? Process by which discs start to deteriorate, a very real concern, although I should point out that certain discs are more susceptible to experiencing this sooner than others due to storing your discs in unideal environments or due to manufacturing defects. Twin Snakes is a good example of that. In any case, you can't depend on your disc games to last forever. Maybe I'll just try to Walt Disney my copy of Choo Choo Rocket to see what happens. I actually have seen discussion of freezing discs for various reasons, but nothing conclusive as far as results go that I could find. Alright, but what about the space that physical copies of games take up? Sometimes collecting physical can look like something went wrong, like walking into
Whoa,
some
that's
sort
crazy.
of hoarder's house. Well, that can happen, but a lot of collectors take good care of their collections, seeing as it's something they're passionate about. Heck, for some collectors, their collection is the most well-taken care of place in their home. What can be said, coming up with playful ways to display your amiibo is far more fun than figuring out what's clogging your toilet. Hey, looks like I'm back in business to set up my amiibo display.
On November 10th,
Oh god damn it. Fuck this game. Fuck this fucking movie. It looks like shit.
But still,
Fuck it.
it's hard to argue against the fact that having less stuff in your home can be nice. And physical copies of video games qualify as stuff. Some people prefer to go digital because they don't have to worry about finding space for it, something that becomes less of an issue when you enjoy the
Earthworm
process of
Jim.
finding a place for
And
it.
I
In fact,
remember that
some
game. I
collectors
remember the
just
TV
put
show.
up a
So
bookcase
good.
that they filled with video games, and you might as well be talking to a parent holding their newborn child. Personally, I like to keep my games in places that are thematically appropriate. But besides having less stuff taking up space, fans of digital games will also praise the convenience of not having to go to the store or have a game shipped to them, in addition to not having to physically switch out games. Something that physical copies of games require, having you get off the couch to swap out your games every time you want to play something different. Some would say it's not a big deal to do this, and I would say total suckers. I haven't gotten up to change a game in years. Alright, now we've talked about the idea of owning your games with physical copies, which, if we're talking about older games, then great. Those games will always be yours to play so long as they're in working condition. But if we're talking about games that came out post-internet, this is where the I own my games parade can come to a sudden and screeching halt. Because there's so many updates and patches to games, one could argue that your physical copy might as well be a digital copy. But at least you could just play the game the way it was launched, right? Well, unfortunately, a lot of games will even have day one patches. You can technically still play the game the way it comes straight off the disc, but it might be vastly inferior to whatever version of the game is most up to date with the latest patches, and then perhaps even things like downloadable content as well. So
Yeah,
again,
that's
once
true.
your console breaks,
Unfortunately,
the
some games you need the updates to balance the game out. Like especially like multiplayer games, looter shooter type of games. Some games I would just broken at launch. Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Starfield 2, Point, Redfall. So yeah, true. It does happen. Sucks. It's gonna happen, but how it is.
servers are shut down that supply those updates and downloadable content, you're just as screwed as you would have been had you purchased a digital copy. You do still got yourself a stylish coaster though, while digital owners have got themselves nasty water rings. Looks like physical copy owners got the last laugh on this one. Also, you can still play the game without its updates, and some physical copies are totally fine right out of the box, especially smaller games or any type of release that came out later on with all the patches and updates already applied. Also, something I find interesting is that it's possible for some games to be supported again at some point in the future. Like some of these original Xbox games. If you have the disc, you can play these again on a newer Xbox console with brand new updates that spice things up like resolution and frame rate. Although, there's really nothing preventing this from happening with digital copies of games that your account shows you purchased at some point. It just depends on whether the company is nice enough and has set things up for you to do this, which isn't always the case. How many times have some of you purchased Super Mario Brothers? Personally, the biggest problem I find with digital copies of games is that you can't sell them back. With physical copies,
You can't sell them,
can
can't
easily
trade
sell
them,
your game when you're done with it.
borrow.
And depending how quickly you beat it, you may even be able to sell it for as much as you bought it for. With the digital copy, it's just money spent.
Ooh, what? Hey. Thank you for the. Oh, I thought I'm past that. Let's see who followed me. Let's see. Lost from Lightning underscore. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice of you guys following me. Welcome. Hopefully you're having a good time right now. Let me know where you're at, where you're from. Cool. Okay.
Is physical. Who wins? Naturally, I
Back in a few
have
seconds.
money gone. If you add that money up, well, it could be a lot. And last I checked, people like to save money. So, digital versus physical. Who wins? Naturally, I would say physical copies overall, keeping in mind I'm totally biased. No one expected a different answer from me unless you were to say.
I think overall, I think physical copies are still better than digital. I mean, digital is more convenient. Digital games can be discounted pretty well, like, but so far I've seen as long as the game is stocked well, those physical games can get pretty cheap. I mean, I bought some games, like I just bought, Tales of Vesperia for like $8. Well, that game is usually like full price, maybe 30% off, on Xbox, digital store.
Say that
Yeah.
digital copies will ultimately be the best way to preserve video games moving forward via emulation, where you see a lot of effort from fans and the community to make sure these games will
Yeah,
be
emulators.
accessible for
I
the
support
long
emulators.
haul,
I think they're fine.
including any
I
younger
don't see anything
gamers
wrong with
that
them.
I would gladly invite to play some older video games. But with that said, I'd be curious to hear everybody else's thoughts on this. And I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be people who disagree with you. But remember to be kind to each other. So with that, leave your comments down below, and I will see ya in the next video.
He's the retro bird, yeah.
Right. Let us see. What I would like to know is are like the Gen Z kids. Gen Z kids, are you buying your games physical or digital? Let me know in the comments below. Gen Z kids. Can't see anything. You know what? That might be a pretty interesting TikTok. I'm gonna ask you guys on TikTok. Hi, hello. Where and oh, and welcome back. See you, Bat. There's a video that looked kind of interesting. Let's see. What is this? Is this like a joke or an actual?
The middle child never knows the beauty of elbow room.
What the is this piece of shit?
That's true. The physical copies, physical like store shelves at like fucking Best Buy. I think I posted on Instagram. It is horrible. Like there's no games for the PS4 or Xbox. Only the Switch had the games.
Thank you for being here, guys. I'm going to tell you exactly what's mind-bending about video games. And that is that it is the biggest, highest grossing form of entertainment in the world. However, supermarkets are just either selling off all of their stock of video games really cheap, getting rid of them altogether, or just having a very, very small amount in comparison to that huge aisles that they used to have even just a few years ago.
Yep, yep.
So we are here to talk about the debate
He's correct
of the
about that.
physical media versus the digital media, and I'm going to give you a stat. The BBC published
The
this
BBC.
mind-blowing stat, but we're going to unpick it slightly. And that was in 2022 in the United Kingdom, 90% of video game sales were digital, meaning 10% were only physical. Now, you might read that if it was a headline and think, oh my goodness, but you just kind of read in the very brief article, which I will link, you have to take into account that the device I'm filming on is a mobile phone, and on those mobile phones you can play lots of games such as Fortnite, Call of Duty, Stardew Valley, even things like Candy Crush. I've heard on the rumour mill that is a game that would count in this 90% of all games.
Yeah, see,
being
he's right. He's right. I hate, in my opinion, counting mobile games part of this digital thing. Like they need to like separate like consoles, PC, and mobile games. You got to separate all three because unfortunately, PC. I think all like pretty much PC games are all digital now. All console, yeah, console buy digitally off the console itself or get like a buy like a key from the site. And then you can go to the store and buy the little card, or you can buy the game itself. Honestly, mobile, all digital.
I played but digital. Now that bends my mind because even if you take out the 30% of mobile and if you just looked at PS5 or Xbox, it's still a lot of digital over physical media. Now, my main demographic for this channel is 35 to 44-year-olds. I'm in that demographic. You like me might have been born in the 80s and you grew up your bulk of your teenage years in the 90s. We had nothing but physical media. And when I say physical media, you would open a Super Nintendo game and it'd be like manual, warranty card, competition card, a poster advertising games. There might even be like a small catalogue or a booklet that gives you a little insight, almost like a little magazine that gives you an insight into what is coming up. Now, that was such a massive part of the physical media experience that
Yeah, I mentioned this in one of my TikToks. Comparing Max Payne 2 and The Evil Within 2, two games on the Xbox that I can play. Like the complete difference between those two is like night and day because when you open up the disc, the box is a lot thicker and stronger on the original Xbox. Yeah, when you open up that manual, they have a bunch of stuff in there. They play you how to set up your console, your controls, gameplay, the HUD, and take notes at the very back. There's lots of nice art. They're also explaining some of the story, some of the story of the actual game itself, and a little backstory on a little bit of like Max or Mona, what's going on with like that. So it was very very interesting. While Evil Within, it's like you open up the game box. Unfortunately, I don't know why Xbox does this. I think only Xbox does. Like, hold on. I'm gonna grab a copy of another game. I need to check something. Did they do this with Xbox One games as well? I need to check. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm checking some of my Xbox One games. They also did the thing as well. They put the game disc on the left and on the right. On the 360, it's on the right, and all the game manual maps and all that are on the left side. You got the little cover sleeve, and I know on the back during the 360 PS3 era, sometimes there were reversible cover sleeves. But unfortunately, they only did it with a few games. Unfortunately, I know Bioshock was one of them. That was a really interesting one that a lot of people like the reversible cover. That was a really good thing. I have my copy of Evil Within 2 here. Game is on the left side. There's a manual, which is like you have to cover two pages. It tells you about like customer service, health warning, game controls. On the back is a warranty, and then there's a little paper insert explaining another game, Wolfenstein. What's on the back? Wolfenstein 2 Prey. It's yeah. I don't like my game disc on the left. I like it on the right better. Like none of the PlayStation games does that. I think PlayStation is still on the right side. All right, let's listen. Let's listen to her.
If I, as I'm, I can see it, I can see it, I can smell the manuals, I can feel and hear the crisp unfolding of a poster when you open an N64 game. Before you even played that game, the thing that you saw was the box art, the screenshots on the back, the manual. All of the things that are now dwindling was exactly what I love. One of the things I love about my childhood. Think about it. Okay, I'm guilty. I'm going to admit some fault here. I have an Xbox Series S and I have Game Pass. But I have all those games on physical because I'm just weird like that and I'm just a collector. You don't get the same.
Oh, yo, dude, I see Final Fantasy 13 back there. Final Fantasy 13. I see The Last of Us, All Out stuff, Evil, Controllers. Good stuff.
You can't, for example, I'm just reaching for this now. I want you to imagine this is a Super Nintendo game. It's not, but we'll use this as an example. Look at that artwork. Look at that artwork. Look at the artwork on the back. Just check that out. I mean, obviously you don't get manuals, catalogs, warranty cards anymore because those things are digital. So a portion of this is actually digital. This is not a fully physical game in my opinion. But there's just something so nice about having physical media in your hand. And unfortunately, as we've progressed into the current generation that we are in, games, they still lack a lot of physical media in their physical form. I get it. I get it.
At least with like the Blu-ray discs, stuff like that. If you buy Blu-ray, you usually get like Blu-ray and a DVD copy along with like a little digital code. If you want like if you want like the digital copy of that. And yeah, I remember when my friend bought like the digital copy. You know, he bought the Blu-ray version because I think he lived like in kind of a smaller town, so he had to like he didn't have a good internet. So he had to buy physical copies, Blu-ray copies of the Digimon movies, the Digimon Tri movies. There was 6 of them. He gave me those codes. I watched them digitally, and they were great. But now, I can't remember if I go back there. I'm like, can I even rewatch those movies? I don't even have the codes anymore. I don't know how I'm gonna watch that shit. I might as well just buy the physical version. Like I just bought me Silent Voice and another Studio Ghibli movie, which I need to watch. I have a few movies I need to watch. Sit down and watch. And I need to finish up Mob Psycho season 2. Get back. Start Bungo Stray Dog season 5. It's not Bungo. It's Bungo. Well, and then Vinland Saga.
Global warming. it costs a hell of a lot less to produce a digital copy of this rather than a physical. I totally get it. And I think that digital media definitely has a solid place in video game currency, if you would. But I don't want to get to the day where everything we do is digital. Let's take a recent game announcement, Alan Wake 2, of which I am supersonic crazy excited to play. Loved the first. I have multiple releases of that game actually just down there lingering on the 360. It's digital only. Now, why is a part of me so saddened by that? I'm extremely saddened about
Yeah, I know another thing is like they mentioned servers are will the servers stay up? Can you access the game? Pretend the internet goes out. Can you can still probably play your console? You still have power. Can I still play my games? That's one of the things we need to make sure. You can't have this always online, always like digital, check in. Like the original Xbox One was supposed to have. Need that.
I can't put my finger on it because obviously I can still play the game. But I think it comes from that innate love and passion of the 80s and the 90s of opening your first Super Nintendo for the very first time. Seeing and feeling the gloss on that box for the very first time. I mean, I could go on, I could sit here all day and I could be the most imaginative storyteller, but I know you've been through it as well. I know you have been through that Mega Drive box opening yourself. So you'll feel me on this, you'll get me on this. Now,
I mean, that's why I like, that's also why I like, physical movies. Also, like, having physical books. That's why if I'm going to buy manga, I want to buy the physical copies of the manga. I have a collection. Like, that's why I have, all my Shonen Jumps physical. I like weird thing, but humans like to have a physical thing because you have ownership, you have possession of it. A digital thing, you're just renting it from these soulless corporations. You can just take it away at any time. I mean, how many games have been delisted? How many games can't play? I mean, recently that Marvel game, that Marvel's Avengers game, doesn't exist anymore digitally. You still buy it physically. That's it. Are the servers still up? We don't.
I don't buy digital games unless I have no choice. I think there was one game in the last couple of years, I think it was Mafia. It might be the Mafia 3. Mafia 3? Had to buy digital because I couldn't find a physical copy and I wanted to stream it. So that's probably the only game I willingly purchased. But if I could have found a physical copy.
Oh, yeah. Mafia. I own all three of those digitally. All of them are great. I love Mafia 1, 2, and 3. Very underrated series, and I think people should go back and play them. Like, they're some of the best games I played in a very long time. Those like on the Switch. Mafia. I think the Mafia games for the Switch. I should just look it up on the Wikipedia. Probably like the best thing to do. Too. What else? Any of these? Let's the Definitive Edition, the sequel, Mafia Furry. No. Mafia Definitive Edition. Original. Nope. All of them. All of them. Only on the Xbox and PS4 and nope. Well, that sucks.
It would have been a thumbs up. And this brings me full circle back to this because I reached out to my community and I asked very kindly if you'd be willing to send me some footage of what the games are like in your supermarkets. And we're going to play some of those now. I'm going to start with mine. This is mine. There used to be an entire aisle devoted to the games, but I think I counted a total of 19 games that were physical with a hell of a lot of the kind of digital cards and etc. etc. The kind of end stand. It's on an end stand which is way in the back of the store. If you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't go anywhere near it. It's like literally
Yeah,
next to ramping
yeah, that's how it is
Costco.
at Best Buy as well. And another thing also known, Best Buy is still selling a lot of accessories, gaming headsets and little thumbsticks, controllers, all that. But like game section, literally nothing there. Even Walmart was like that too. Pretty sad. But at least Walmart, you still have a big glass case of games. Best Buy doesn't have a glass case of games. They put most of them, in the little tiny little protective glasses. And I remember when I used to work at Best Buy when I would we get all those games. I would get like, and dude, one of the things I did, I actually made sure I put specific games out on there, whether for the Switch or the Xbox or the PS4. I made sure I put a lot of Japanese games out there. I put a lot of those type of games, and just games some people might want to buy. Like, hey, here's the Among Us game.
And pinatas. Okay, so the biggest video game, the biggest entertainment industry in the world, video games, is next to the pinatas in Tesco.
All trees are 50% off at Michael's. Get great deals on Christmas trees for every room and budget.
Now, some of you reached out to me and said, my Tesco, my supermarket, this is, I've removed them completely. And I had that experience. I went into Asda, which is the British version of Walmart. Walmart own Asda, just for those that are watching in the US, okay? And I went in on the off chance that they were going to have Diablo 4. I was on my lunch break. I was in this tiny little town on my lunch break. I thought, whoa, here's my chance. Slide into Asda. Bro, I'm checking them aisles like I'm in Call of Duty. I'm like scanning, couldn't find it anywhere. So I go to the cigarette counter and I'm like, I don't smoke, by the way. We just call it the cigarette counter because there was no queue. I said, excuse me, do you sell PS4, PS5 games? She looks at me and she's like, no, but we've got top-up cards. Didn't ask for top-up cards, did I? You know what I mean? So it's things like that it's just kind of brought me full circle. I thought, you know what?
And I also remember, like a long time ago, besides GameStop, I remember I used to Best Buy, and I think maybe Walmart bought your used games, but they stopped that real quickly. Like especially like Best Buy, all that. They did not give very good value. I know GameStop didn't get very good resale value on a lot of games either, but at least back during the 360 era, if you sell those games back, you at least could have made some decent chunk of change back, and use it, buy a game. Yeah.
Let's get on camera. I need to talk about this. So we're going to take a look now at some of your supermarkets, what's on offer for you. I'm just going to kind of have the person that sent me the footage, and then we're just going to kind of come back and we're gonna kind of just like, I don't even know, I just can't actually believe it. I might even email Tesco, I'm that passionate. But anyway, this is kind of where you guys are.
Tesco. That's gaming. Tesco Market, alright. Yeah, all these Tesco's look the same. Like small little box with random ass games. Look at all those headsets. Look at all those accessories. That's why I see it. Best Buy, a lot of that. What is this noise? Bitch. Doing this stupid ass noise. That doesn't even look like a real box. That looks like a PS4 box or a PS3 box. just slap a game in there. Book. Callisto Protocol. God, that game is shit. 58 pounds. 49 pounds. 41, 46, 49. Or oh, this I saw some. I saw a Switch game or Switch like box. I have no idea. Game.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Playing Gangsta's Paradise. Hola, hola, ¿cómo está? Hola, I guess. Zero. Oh. New channel. In Dead Space story, nice. I love Dead Space story. It looks the same.
I need a few seconds of your time to tell you different perks. I did go in another Asda and they had, I didn't have my camera at the time, and my phone even, and it was like a decent-ish selection. So I think it's one of them you don't really know what you're going into. You've just got to go in and hope for the best. Let's face it, supermarkets are absolutely everywhere. They are relatively accessible, and I have no idea why they're dwindling the stock. It's a stupid decision in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. When you've got multi-billion-dollar franchises like Grand Theft Auto still popping out, even an upcoming game that you could be kind of all over and you're choosing not to. My Tesco does sell the AAA stuff that comes out, your FIFAs, your Call of Duties, but I wanted a copy of Diablo that day. Couldn't get it in Asda, definitely weren't in Tesco because Jess checked. So it kind of broke my heart a little bit. So it's unfortunate that we are in this kind of digital era, this, I guess, a bit of a crisis, but luckily we've got lots of other stuff physical wise, but I do think like
You got like limited run games. You got Amazon, GameStop is still selling physical, not as much as it used to. I don't know why they still like their used section is so bad. They used to have such a good used section back in the 360 era. I bought so many used games.
Fortnite has a big thing to do with it. Obviously it's digital only, or at least it was. You can get Fortnite on your mobile as well. I spoke about that in Monday's video. I think that is huge. I do think digital is a really good thing, for example, for people that are perhaps disabled and can't get out. I think it's phenomenal that people can, because let's not poo-poo it altogether. It definitely serves a place for people that can't even get out of the house. So I think that is to be mindful as well. But I'd like to know for you, do you think the day will come when we will be entirely digital? If so, when's that going to be? I think for me the answer is yes, and I think it's coming within the next 5 years. The decline in the game, I think that's going to go completely. And I want to know what ratio of physical to digital you guys dive in with. An old friend of mine was Xbox Game Pass, no physical, nothing. It was just Xbox Game Pass. Fair enough, it's cheap, I get it. But I can't help but go back to my roots of physical media. So they're my 2 cents. Thank you to everybody as well that actually shared clips. It was really interesting to see what was not on offer in your local supermarkets. It would massively help me out, guys, if you could subscribe. Consider leaving a like and maybe sharing, because that is the best way to help free content creators, is to subscribe, share videos, and hit like so your free ways that you can help me out. Thank you so much. If you want to chuck a couple of quid, you can hit that join button. Just become a member for, yeah, £2 a month. Buy me a coffee. Brilliant. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Take care.
Also, another thing when I was looking at her thing when it came to like physical copies at her Tesco or Aldi's or whatever the fuck that shit. It was mostly Call of Duty and FIFA I mostly saw, and then there's a bunch of digital cards and currency, and sometimes they didn't have like the box itself. It was like a fake box. They just put like some type of insert, like here's Diablo or here's Call of Duty or Halo. And if you bought that, you just take that up to the counter and tell them, hey, I need a physical copy. Like, kind of like with GameStop, like, hey, you have this, and hand them the box, and they open the drawer, open it, and they have a little paper box and paper sleeve, put that in there. Yeah, I have like a little paper sleeve, and maybe they have a manual. Usually, well, sometimes if it's a used game, sometimes they have like the fake box with the fake shitty fucking insert paper that has like generic PS2. I bought like a PS2 game with like a marker free. It was like this random shitty little black box, no manual, just the disc and like fake paper insert. GameStop says power to the players. That's something else. Why to get the little Gen Z part? Let's see what the little Switch guy has.
So at this point, I feel like I'd rather buy physical games from now on. Because I just don't buy digital games that much, though, because it's archived. Some of these games can be archived, and I'd rather buy physical games instead of digital games because it can be archived. So at
It. Right.
A waste of
This
plastic.
is probably one of the most useless things you can buy for a PC video game. An actual physical copy of a brand new PC game in 2022. Here's what I mean. So here's the box. It looks pretty nice. I mean, the plastic's pretty nice on the back, on the cover. You get the cover art. It looks pretty cool. But then when you open it up, you basically just get a code. You don't even get a disc or anything. There's just nothing there.
Yeah, there's no
Where
disc drive.
usually goes right here. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yeah, you just get a code. That's it. So once you use up the code, it's practically useless. You just toss it out. Thanks, EA.
A waste of plastic.
This is probably one of the most.
Yeah, that's. I think I've seen that one. This guy has to.
Lash sensational
Sounds
Skyline
interesting.
Terra from Maybelline, New York. Limitless lash altitude.
It's like a state of emergency when it comes to physical games lately, it seems. I pre-ordered Diablo 4 from Best Buy for in-store pickup. In-store pickup. The day that came out, I got a notification from Best Buy. Sorry, we don't have your pre-order. You ain't getting it. We're working hard, though. We're working hard. And then Final Fantasy 16, I pre-ordered the deluxe edition. Same thing, the day of release, actually the night before, and then in the morning, like after they opened, same thing. I got 2 notifications. Sorry, your pre-order is not available for in-store pickup. We're
Damn, that
working
sucks,
very
dude. Because
diligently.
I pre-ordered some games and I got them, from Best Buy. But like Best Buy, when I worked there, we wouldn't get many copies of like new games. It was pretty rare we got any good copies of any of those games. Kind of annoying at times.
Right? There's been other times. I remember buying a PS5 game pre-ordered from Best Buy, and they only got 1 copy in. If you wanted that game, you didn't pre-order it. Even if you did pre-order, you may have not got it, but they only got 1 copy in. It was weird. Like, what's going on with physical game distribution? It's like you go to these places, man, physically to a store. I've gone to Target, Best Buy, and you go to the game section. It's like a barren wasteland. It's the Mad Max of aisles. Like, you might have a little corner over there with like some old ass clearance stuff, freaking Coco Melon game, from the Xbox One or something, in a bin, like a bunch of junk. But then all the newer releases, stuff that came out a month ago, that came out this week, that came out today, that came out yesterday, whatever, it's empty. Go to Target, they print the little things, put them in the displays, and oh, is the game back there? No. And then you look down the whole thing, it's empty across the board. And
That's
this
true.
is at many stores, and a lot of people have been noticing this. What is going on with physical game distribution? And it seems like there's this weird dilemma going on. I want to talk about this. That game distribution, as far as physical goes, I think the future of this.
And like it's happening a lot here in America, but I wonder how it feels for people outside of America. People in Mexico, Canada, UK, Europe, the EU nations, um, Korea, China, Australia, New Zealand. Those games, are pretty well known gaming areas that buy games. Unfortunately, maybe in South America, it might be only Brazil that might have enough buying power to buy games. Well, I don't know. You don't see Argentinians buying games, Chileans, Venezuelans, or Colombians. They're too fucking poor. And fucking Africa and the Middle East is just nothing but piracy. There's nothing but pirates over there, man. They don't buy any shit. It is pirate and pirate and pirate. That's just how they are. That's just they always are. Always will be pirates.
Happening is not as far away as I think, where it's just going to all be digital. It's all going to be digital. I prefer physical most of the time just because, like I said, it retains value to a certain degree and let somebody borrow it. But it's cheaper and more profitable to do digital distribution, it seems. But I was talking to Ryan at Castlemania Games, and he had to send out this email, it looks like, concerning video game pre-orders. If you didn't know, Castlemania Games was selling like new releases. Like if you wanted Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, boom, like he had access to get that, and he was doing video game sales for the Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox, that kind of thing. He had to send this email out where it says you are receiving this email because one or more of your orders contain a pre-order where the status has changed. We have unfortunately received an update from Ingram Entertainment, the master distributor for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, that they are dissolving their gaming division at the end of this month, June. We're in the final week. This unfortunately means that pre-orders for games releasing after June 30th will not be fulfilled. At this time, back orders for games that have already been released, for example, Street Fighter 6, are expected to arrive and ship as planned. You should have received your refund, so on and so forth. We sincerely apologize. This was out of his hands, actually. Seems like this news just kind of popped out of nowhere type of thing.
What? I've never heard of this company. Ingram Entertainment. Look this up. Dave Ingram. This guy made 200 or $200 million in 2022, and this guy's like, yeah, I was pulling this shit off. Very natural.
Ingram Entertainment, like I've dug into them. Um, they have different like divisions, different like departments type of thing. Like, hey, they distribute Funko Pops, audio stuff, electronics,
Funko Pops, man.
movies,
Are people
CDs,
still buying that
vinyls,
shit?
video games. Right? This is a big distributor. A big distributor. They didn't just distribute to little old Castlemania games. They distribute to Walmart, Best Buy, Target, grocery stores that sell movies. Like they distribute to a lot of places. They're not the only distributor out there, mind you, but they are a fairly big one. They've been around for a long time, and they're just cutting the gaming distribution side of their business. Why? Is it not profitable? When these companies ship a game to a distributor ships it to a reseller, to a retailer or whatever. The margins on games, physical games, is very, very freaking slim. After your merchant fees, your processing fees, stuff like that, shipping, all these things, like a lot of companies may make a couple bucks off of selling a game, and it may just wind up being a loss at some points, right? Selling video games physically. So it's kind of like I've noticed this, man, with like Amazon. It seems like Amazon, they're really taking over with certain things, the distribution of certain products. Like they're not going through a distributor. The main company's just shipping straight to them. It happens with a lot of Hasbro products, right? Wizards of the Coast, stuff like that. And then just weird pricing on things. And you look.
Yeah, yeah, I was able to get like other physical games. I mean, I'm able to get them for really cheap. I mean, like $8, $10, $12 for a lot of games. Even when they go on digital sales, like sometimes the digital sales ain't that good. Like, oh, 20% off, 30% off. And man, these games are $70. And like Far Cry 6, I want to buy that game, but it's like so expensive digitally. I want to maybe buy it physically instead. I have Far Cry 5. I have Far Cry 4, Far Cry 3. I know 4 and 5 definitely. But New Dawn, I have that digital. And then you can probably get them for pretty darn cheap too. So, all right, hold up, guys. Charge up my phone, my Xbox console, because I have a USB. Charge up my controllers or sync them. Charge up my fucking phone too. It's not gonna be very strong though. Like charger on here is very slow.
You look at Amazon. A lot of times, like some of their prices can't be beat on a lot of things. So it's like the bigger the company is, the better the deal they can get on reselling.
I'm really surprised this company went out of business. Ingram Energy, when it comes, at least when it comes to digital, fucking physical games. I mean, they were one of the rare people that were shipping out, selling games. I'm guessing maybe buying games straight from them. Let's look at something. Let's look at some games. Done. Books. Do they have? Oh yeah, yeah. Game. Video games. Let's look at some of the prices. we'll just go with the Xbox because I have. And featured. Look at the prices. Title. See what you got. Damn, that's a fucking expensive ass edition. $800, $514. Oof. I don't. Bestsellers. Let's look at bestsellers. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, $39.99. Diablo. Mortal Kombat. Look at that. Almost $100 for this. It is $100 now. 89. $9. Look at $10 for Goat Simulator for your Xbox. Fucking cheap as shit too. And you can get it delivered by Tuesday of next week. Not gonna lie, sometimes their Prime shipping kind of sucks. Sonic Collection. Sonic Superstar. This should not be, in my opinion, $60. This should be $30. NHL. Yeah, let's look up NHL. And we price for older NHL. NHL 20. 2019, $6. Look at this, the 360, $9.99. PS3, $12.99. Look at that, look how cheap that shit. 2021, $14. Can't beat some prices for $14 or something. Good. Go back. Continue. Grand Theft Auto 5. Look at that, $20. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, JoJo fans, why aren't you buying this game? Why aren't you supporting it? Holy crap. It's super freaking cheap. You can buy it, for a good price. After today, man, JoJo fans, you should be selling this shit. You should be buying the shit out of this game. Snow Runner, $22. Madden, still pretty expensive. Sonic Frontiers, nice. Hey, have it. Mario 50, Mortal Kombat 11, Resident Evil Village, $20, $30. I've seen that game be way cheaper than that, at Target. 10, $15, man. Eee. Yeah, that's true. Like Hello Neighbor 2, Wave the Hunter. I've never even heard of this game. Wave the Hunter, but it was $40 now. $20. Half off. Here's Geofield Chronicles. I don't know. Every once in a while, it is slightly annoying. Even if you buy certain games from Amazon, sometimes they don't have a physical copy. Sometimes they only have a digital copy. Like this game, this might be one of them. Geofield Chronicles. I don't think I have this game. 50% off too. But I don't know if there's an actual physical copy or not. I think one time I bought a game off of Amazon and wasn't in the traditional ESRB. I got it as the European PEGI. I'm like, will this game work on my console? World of Outlaws, Gollum Games, $30. Steel Rising, 2. Marvel Midnight Suns. Game. don't know. Sometimes they does say like digital code, but sometimes they don't. Skull and Bones game has not come out. Game still hasn't come out. Riders Republic is a game that a lot of people like. Oh, you mean $20. This game like is always on sale. I think it's on Game Pass, but I've seen this game on sale, and usually it's like maybe 20 or 30% off. Like say like $60, it's like $30. It's $20. Sessions, 8 sessions, interesting game. Let's see. Modus, Solstice. I've never even heard of this game, but yet it in this tiny Wonderland. It sounds a digital code, $80 for it. Liberia, world before an era. And Temtem. Never heard of this game either. Oolong, okay. Heard. Soccer 2 hasn't came out yet. World War One, Isanzo Digital Deluxe Edition. Star Ocean, Divine Force. I have that, but only a physical copy. You say? Well, anyone can. You are correct. That is a true thing. Small indie devs don't have the money for to sell sell you a physical game, only a digital game on the marketplace. We've seen that all the way back with the Xbox 360 era, with like a lot of games, a lot of indie games, and we see and thankfully thanks to Game Pass, I think Game Pass has now really helped and saved a lot of indie devs because they just tell them, hey, we want our game on here. We'll give it to you. You give us a good chunk of money back. Like, all right, we'll give you like $500,000. $500,000 to maybe $500,000. That doesn't sound like much, but in the dev, that could be really good money to keep them running. And then once they put their game on Game Pass, people can buy it and you can get a 20% discount on it and buy those games. Like I bought all the Yakuza games. I think I have every Yakuza game except for like a Dragon, like a Dragon Gaiden, the Mando race name that just hit Game Pass recently. I still need to beat Yakuza 6. I beat 5. I need to beat 6 soon. And Ishin and Ozu.
Physical products. So it seems like Amazon's kind of, man, the being it's a little detrimental to a lot of businesses out there, especially smaller businesses, online retailers. Like everybody's competing with Amazon type of thing. But for a company like this to just say we're not doing video game distribution anymore is nuts. And it leads me to believe that like there's got to be a big reason for it. It's not as profitable. They're seeing a decline, right? Like I said, Ingram Entertainment's not the only distributor. There's also Alliance Entertainment. But from what I've heard, like
Hey,
people
man.
trying to get into
2 hours? Holy crap. No, I spent 2 hours talking about this digital physical, future and fusion and all this. Hopefully, this is making a positive contribution to people. Like maybe you go out and buy some more physical games, pre-order some games. Like for example, on like Best Buy, like pre-order the new Call of Duty, pre-order those type of games. What are some games can you pre-order on Best Buy? Disability. That food. Rival. You don't have like a incoming. Well, let's see. Any of these games. Pre-order Call of Duty. Pre-order this. What? Call of Duty game to pre-order. Call of Duty. There's gotta be some other. There's gotta be some other games I like pre-order on. Other big ass games. Unfortunately, I bought a digital version of Dead Space version. Anything else to pre-order? This accessories. I'm not looking for games. Man, I'm not seeing a lot of games you can pre-order up soon. Like maybe not even that. Maybe not even this year, but like maybe next year. Gotta be some games that people are excited about to pre-order. No, like, Call of Duty cannot be the only game you can pre-order. I'm trying to beat this game. Hopefully, I can come back to it and beat it. I am not seeing any other. That ain't cool. Pre-orders. Pre-ordered a Super Mario RPG. Okay. Call of Duty. We've seen that. Hogwarts Legacy for the Switch. The new Jujutsu Kaisen game. Let's see. When is it coming out? Coming out next year. See, release February 2020. Ooh, that's not a good month. I know Jujutsu Kaisen is a game a lot of people want to play, but February is not a good month, man. February has a lot of big ass games. I think that's when Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is coming out. So that's gonna crush a lot of shit, man. A Bluey game. Holy shit. $39.99 for the Bluey game? Damn, man. I should get that. Fucking love Bluey. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Yeah, Rebirth. This shit looks good. Invincible? Invincible, I never heard of that. Is it Arkham Trilogy? Hey, Switch fans, go get yourself Arkham game. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I guess. Trails. Ooh, a new Trails game. Honestly, a new Naruto Boruto game. Boruto sucks ass, man. I know fucking Danny and fucking, the other guy. I can't remember his partner's name. Love Naruto and Boruto. Like, love Boruto. They love talking about that shit. In my opinion, Naruto should have died after Naruto Shippuden. No Boruto. Make your last Naruto movie, and that was it. I don't consider. Oh, the Avatar game. Quantum Error. That game's a fucking pile of shit. Persona 5 Tactics. Alright. Dragon Quest. Legends of Heroes. Is it Robocop? No, I think Robocop is out. Got WandaVision. Tokyo Tower. No Switch game. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. Heard of it? But you pre-order it. Prince of Persia. That's going to come out. Tetris. Deep Rock Galactic. I know that game. That game's already out. Let's see. What else can you pre-order? Super Lucky Tail. Hell yeah. That was a really good game on the Xbox. Empire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This game's actually still coming out. I think. See, Nickelodeon All Stars Battle. What the fuck? Legend of Legacy HD. What the fuck is that game? Pre-order it. Looks like a really good. Oh, it's by NIS. No wonder I never heard of it, man. But NIS does a lot of good shit, man. It's only $50. Holy shit. Pretty good steal. Titan Quest 2. What the like a mobile game? Fucking like mobile game, or was this like a Diablo style game? It was on the Switch. Switch, PC, and Steam, and the Wikipedia for this thing. Oh, Titan THQ back in 2006. Oh yeah, see, it was on Windows, iOS, Android, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. So it was like one Android like game. It was on PC, so it's like one of those top down type of game. Definitely see it be garbage. Newark. I'm very worried about THQ Newark. Blue releasing a lot of so great game. They're releasing some good stuff, but they're also releasing a lot of garbage shit that's like, yeah, let's just sell this game and make some money. With the exception of the Darkside franchise and like Biomutant, thing at a game that people want is there's Red Faction. What, it came on the Switch? Oh my god, let's see. Oh, wait. Actually, Red Faction, Gorilla, We Mars. Take the fucking any graphics. I mean, this was like already on the 360 PS3 era, so it work on the Switch pretty easily. I mean, this was the last like good one, like Faction Gorilla that a lot of people liked. Darkseid's Genesis, that's a good game. Darkseid's Desperado 2, 3. No one bought that. Royal Humans, no one bought that. Kingdom's Wrecking Ammo, no one bought that. Royal Humans, no one bought that. The SpongeBob game, maybe because it's SpongeBob. Fine Region, no one bought. Exil, I think no one bought that game either. Breakfast, no one buys that. Hey man, Risen, no one buys that. MX was ATV, no one buys that game either. Man, THQ, Jagged Alliance 3, who's gonna buy that? Alone in the Dark? Trine 3. Fuck, there's been that many Trine games? Gothic, no one plays that. And Titan Quest, oh, there's no information about it. One, there's no Wikipedia. I don't know how good that game's gonna be. So I'm guessing it's gonna be another top-down mobile-like game to be a money sink. All it is. All it is. It looks like a money sink kind of game. A mobile game trying to look like a console game. Lost Ruins. Look at this. A lot of these Japanese games are coming out on pretty good, pretty decent, price. And look, he's Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, which is Yakuza 8. War Hospital. Interesting. The World War One game. know, you gotta be a British guy. What if you want to be a German, huh? What if you want to win, what if you want to win as the Germans? Why can't we play as the Germans? This one looks really good. I wonder if this one will have like any special edition. Voodoo jumps. Ooh, you find a big ass shark. Is that Danny Trejo? Dang, you're so fucking old now. Wish you style up that hair a little. I remember when I bought the Yakuza Like a Dragon, the day one version, or day Ichi. Like Ichi by itself means one. Yeah, go pre-order, Yakuza Like a Dragon now. No longer Yakuza. Go one more page. See, there's anything else worth pre-ordering? Owner 5 Tactics. That's coming out pretty soon. It's coming out this month in days. The last page for the Walking Dead game. Who the fuck still cares about the Bomb Rush Cyberpunk? Trying to see what is that. Okay. It's really hard to see what the hell who's who. Okay, his arm, his leg, head. Oh, this is that Jet Set Radio game. Hell yeah! Oh my god! That shows an Xbox version, but I don't see an Xbox version you can pre-order physically. Maybe it's digital only for that one. Bluey. Looks like a Castlevania-like game. Fitness boxing, Fist of the North Star. Hell yeah! Fist of the North Star fans, buy that game. Wizard with a Gun, Deluxe Edition, PS5. Murder on the Orient Express. Game's gonna come out real soon. It's only $40 too. Who doesn't want to play as Bluey? Animal Hospital. 8XL. Gangs of Sherwood. 11/16/2020. No one has ever heard of this game, but I have now exposed this game. People might go out and buy this game. Looks pretty interesting. Looks like you have 4 people. This guy with a big mace, woman with a one-handed sword, and a archer. Sheriff of Nottingham. Based off of Robin Hood. One of 4, players. And the power of the Philosopher's Stone. Oh shit. Philosopher's Stone. Who do you have to sacrifice to get that? How many souls do you sacrifice to get a Philosopher's Stone? Oh no. What almost stop.
Reselling games, they'll talk to like a rep from Nintendo, Microsoft, or whatever. Sometimes they'll just refer them to Ingram, right? So like these are a couple of the bigger ones that are out there, Alliance and Ingram, and it's just if they're cutting that, and then some of these companies, if they can't get in with other distributors and whatnot, who knows what's going to happen? It seems like it's just all leading to like, hey, let Amazon handle all this stuff. That's my take, man. I don't know, but this all just seems like the trend. Physical is declining. Taking a look at the numbers, on this website, GameIndustry.biz, where they sourced from Newzoo, this stuff is very telling here. Take a look. Global game market value for the year 2022. These numbers are all pulled, I believe, November, December last year. Total market value 184.4 billion for gaming. Console gaming 28% at 51.8. Then you have browser PC games, and then downloaded box PC games. Then look at mobile games, 50%. 50%. But then the stuff I really want to take a look at is right here, boxed versus digital. So physical game revenue versus the global digital game revenue. This is very telling. This number for physical
I mean,
games
$10 billion is a lot of money.
Take a look, 10.7 billion for physical games.
I mean, think about that. They're not happy with $10 billion in pure revenue from box games. But look how much they get from digital games. $173 billion. Almost, they only get $200 billion. My God. And look at the best-selling games. All like sequels: FIFA, Call of Duty, Pokemon, Horizon, Pokemon, Lego, Mario Kart, God of War, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Elden Ring. Elden Ring is the only new IP. This is what's really, really bad. A lot of new IPs, with the exception of I think Elden Ring, are not selling very well. No one's buying them until recently with Starfield. Starfield is like the only new IP that is selling well. Baldur's Gate 3 is already established IP. Legend of Zelda established. Iron Wake established. Call of Duty established. Redfall is a new IP but didn't sell it. Fallout established. Some other games. Spider-Man already established. People aren't supporting new games because they just want to buy the same shit over and over again. You know, they say they want something new, they want new IPs. They're not buying them. It's only Xbox and maybe the Switch that are actually pushing new IPs out. And because of Game Pass, you know, they don't have to. If you get the games on Game Pass, you got cushion to save yourself. With the Switch, just right now, I just showed you pre-order list, for a bunch of games. A lot of them were for the Switch, and they weren't that expensive either. They're like $50. They're $40, $30 to pre-order a game for the Switch. And these were Japanese games, and sometimes some other type of Western games. A lot of them were Japanese. Interesting.
Revenue last year, right? Compared to digital, 173.8. Now, a big part of that number is definitely going to be mobile games. You're right. A big part of that's mobile games, but look at the percentages down here. PC box games, 2% like physical, 98% digital. That is like, that's just the way it is. I'm surprised it's not 100% digital. Then the console market, this is the one that a lot of us care about. Boxed at 28%, digital at 72%. This graph here is definitely going to be shifting over to what this looks like for PC gaming in the very near future. Very near future. Total market revenues, 5.8% boxed, 94.2% digital. Profits are bigger with digital. You don't have to manufacture anything. You don't have to have the logistics behind shipping things. A video game is code to begin with. This is all digital. Easier and cheaper and more profitable to distribute it that way than to do physical. So I think this is just trending that way. People are finding it more convenient. Stores are not stocking up. Distributors are like, hey, companies aren't buying as much as they once were. Things are shifting to digital. Let's shutter our, physical distribution side of things, like Ingram Entertainment here. Holy crap. This is very telling here, man. I've been saying it. We're going off digital in the very near future. I wouldn't be surprised if the next set of maybe Nintendo's going to hold out, but like PlayStation and Xbox, the next consoles that come out, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just completely digital. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the generation after that, but it's going to be soon.
In my opinion, we already know that the PS5, the new PS5 Slim, there's two versions. There's a physical and digital, and the digital has a little slot. You attach a physical CD reader to it. which is kind of stupid. And you also had to connect it to the internet to update it, which is also stupid. Another thing is, in the next refresh of the Xbox Series X, is all digital. There's no physical slot, which sucks. In my opinion, if you're gonna release a console or Blu-ray player, you need to have an option for both. I know, with like your Blu-ray, obviously it's connected to the internet, you get updates, yada yada yada. Obviously, you can play your physical Blu-rays, but also connect and watch Netflix there. Yeah, so please, if you guys are able to, go out and buy some pre-order and buy some physical copies. Uh, Hopefully, he talking about this, you know, with the amount of people that are here and watching me, supporting me, can buy more games, especially physical games. Because if you go, like I said, I just showed you on Amazon, you can buy those physical games for so cheap. And and if you live like in a major city, you can get them pretty quick. Some games you can get like the next day, depending if you have like overnight shipping, or hopefully they're fucking which prime shipping is still good. Hopefully you can get better, and then hopefully whoever's handling those games, especially the Amazon drivers or UPS drivers or USPS or FedEx, don't smash the shit out of your games.
Soon. It's really going to be soon. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all watching. This is a crazy one, man. Bye.
Go buy games again. All right, let's see. Interesting.
Work goes smoothly when you know the right steps. With Asana, you can coordinate tasks across teams and stay on track, so your team can spend more time celebrating wins. Try it for free at asana.com.
Here's to the moments between where you are and where you're going, to setting off into...
Hi everyone, it's Emily, and today I'll be opening up some new games from GameStop. GameStop had a pretty awesome sale last week where many of their games that released within the past 2 years were either 50 or 75% off. And late at night when this came up, I partook in the sale, and this is all that they've sent me so far. So right now I have 8 of the 9 games I ordered, but as many of you know, GameStop is pretty notorious for sending so-called new games that have already been opened. These copies are usually what's in their physical stores that they just keep on display. For some reason, GameStop thinks it's okay just to send those off and claim that they're brand new. But what has me more concerned is there seems to be a recent influx of generic cases floating around with new stickers slapped onto them. I'm really hoping that all of these are at least complete in box, if not sealed.
That's
I've kinda
interesting.
given up hope
I have
now
not
because
seen that. I have never seen that before with a new game, a generic box and generic cover. Seen that with pre-owned games, yes. Or if it's like the last copy of a game they don't have anymore. That's fine. And that was the new games, that does not sound good.
I ended up ordering 9 new games from them, but they've only shipped 8 of them so far to me. I'm still waiting on one more, which I guess I'll share in another video. But if you want to cast your predictions of what's actually inside these 2 packages, how many of the 8 are brand new sealed, opened, but clean box, or with a generic case, let me know down below and see if your predictions were correct or not.
All right.
So of these 2 packages, this one contains 3 Switch games, releases that came out within the past year and a half. And this has a mix of Switch games, but mostly I think PS5 games, which I think is a great deal, especially for many of these games, which have been on my wish list since they've released. So I'm excited to finally have them.
It has a very nice physical collection.
So I'm going to begin with this rather oversized box because these were the first 5 games I ordered in the middle of the night when this sale started. And these are the ones I'm probably most excited about because of just how
well, there's also
one thing that already has me concerned is this is a rather large box for 5 standard sized games. I didn't order any of the collector editions that they had on sale or other kind of special day 1 editions that had additional boxes and whatnot attached to them. And we did a little shake test. There is a piece of paper that's kind of allowing
just a piece of paper? No.
There's still a lot of
bubble wrap?
Empty space in here. So hopefully all these games are intact and not cracked just due to transportation. So I'm gonna dig them out blindly so that we're both surprised to see what comes out. Okay, so this first game I think is a sealed one. And it is. And I ended up buying Forspoken and it came brand new sealed.
Right, Forspoken. That game shit!
Sealed tally. I know this game
shit!
There's some people that I trust that have played this game and said that there are flaws with it, but it's still a really fun game.
Kill Illumination Studios.
For this. And I think that's a pretty good deal. I do think as we approach the holiday season, especially around Black Friday, this game will probably drop down to 15, or it might even drop down to 10 if they're really trying to get rid of it in some of the stores. But I think $17.50 is pretty fair for a game that's released at $70 earlier this year. But let me know if you played Forspoken yet and what your thoughts were and if you think it was worth picking up or not. I am interested in more of the combat system, I think, of this game rather than the narrative and story, because some of the mechanics look kind of fun. When I get to it, I'll let you guys know my overall thoughts and whether or not this game is worth getting at a discounted price or not. All right, so next game. Let's see. Is one that is not sealed, I feel. And that is Labyrinth of Galleria, the Moon Society. And I'm glad that it's not in a generic case. So let me open it up and see.
Let's see if it actually is sealed or not.
The case does have some noticeable scratches on the back, which is really unfortunate. But when you open it up, it does have, I guess, the little piece of paper here. And it's a reversible cover art. And I've noticed that this game is going out of stock at a lot of retailers. The Switch version is no longer listed on Best Buy, and I've noticed that it's only offered by third-party sellers on Amazon, so it's always a gamble whether or not you'll get the ESRB copy or not when ordering from third-party sellers. So I'm a little torn about whether or not I should try to return this because I can always replace the scratched up case, and I don't think this game is going to be very easy to find very soon, even though it came out, February of this year? You'll notice the bulk of this order is a lot of Square Enix and NAS America titles. As I mentioned a few times on this channel, NAS America is a publisher that I really try to prioritize because a lot of their games go out of print very quickly. We've seen that with a lot of the Trails games that they published, along with many others,
very interesting,
including the first game that actually came out in the series, Labyrinth of Refrain. It's very difficult to find that available on the Nintendo Switch right now that's not used and marked up. So this game is a first-person dungeon crawler, and I do own the first one, so I really wanted to get this also on the Switch while I was still able to. And this game was 50% off, so it ended up being $25, which I think is a really good price for a game that I think is going to go out of print soon and out of stock everywhere. And you really
so far she's,
I think, NAS America
like her, cool
titles for the most part. All right, so next game. Let's hope it's a sealed one. And this feels like a sealed one.
Final
for
Fantasy
Final
VII
Fantasy
Crisis
VII
Core.
Reunion. Now, I've actually been a bit on a Final Fantasy VII kick. I've been trying to wrap up my OG 7 gameplay on, which I have digitally on my Switch. I'm getting very close, and I'm hoping to play the remake soon, but I've been told that I should play Crisis Core Reunion before getting to
Reunion.
This was originally a PSP title that they
Hey, I
remade
got that one. I also got I got the
and I really wanted to get this on the PS5.
I also got the collector's
Switch,
version.
which is where it's also available, and I've heard it runs just fine. But I just wanted to have a consistent platform where most of the Final Fantasy VII games will go on. So I thought it made sense to buy this on the PS5, even though it was originally a handheld game and should play just fine on the Switch. But yeah, I'm really pleased that this
Gak?
is sealed.
No. Genesis, not
I've been
Gak.
trying to get Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS5, and I'm waiting for Square Enix to reprint that, especially with Rebirth coming out early next year.
Rebirth.
I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but maybe eventually they will.
I love saying Rebirth like that.
So I could replace my PS4 copy with that. So I think it just has to be a little bit more patient. But all the Final Fantasy VII hype just has me really excited for the new game coming out next year. So I'm hoping to play all these other Final Fantasy VII related games before that comes out. All right, now on to, what is this? Game for, and this is not sealed. And it is another Final Fantasy game. So this is Stranger of Paradise. Now there's a lot of criticism with this game as well from Square Enix. And let's see how the disc looks. So there is a small dent on the back here. It's not the worst though. I could definitely live with that. And it does have all the warning stuff there. And let's look at the disc. Okay, so the disc I think just has like a fingerprint. So that's not bad either. So there's no scratches, thankfully.
But it's been a good game.
So
please.
I will be keeping this. I paid $10 for this, which I think is a good price for this game just to try it out. After beating Final Fantasy 16 earlier this summer, I've been a bit on a Final Fantasy kick and wanting to play more of the games. This does seem like a more experimental title of Square Enix. I'm trying to see how Final Fantasy will translate into
Also, this is a game
RPG like they did with
fucking Limb Bizkit.
this one, I do hear the characters and story are
Darkness.
more on the generic side. The gameplay is fun.
Yeah, fight against the darkness.
We'll see how this one goes. But yeah, I'm happy to start building up more of my Final Fantasy backlog. And I'm hoping to finally experience them all. Since back in the day, I only really played 12. So
Final Fantasy 12 is awesome.
See how the other games fare.
Okay.
All right, so the last game in this box. And let's see what it looks like.
Oh, that paper is terrible.
Thankfully, it is sealed. And another Square Enix title. And we have
Ocean.
Here, Divine Force. Star Ocean is one of the Square Enix franchises I haven't experienced yet, so I figured the Divine Force, which had pretty positive reviews last year, is a good jumping point to kind of see how I like it.
Yes,
I really enjoy fantasy RPGs with a sci-fi twist to them, and I think this involves aliens or something and different planets and whatnot. And with the new remake coming out soon for the second game, which is supposed to be, I hear, the pinnacle of the franchise, I'm really excited to get more into this franchise and see how I like it overall. So overall, I'm pretty pleased. 3 of the games came sealed for fantastic prices, and then 2 of these games did not come sealed, but at least they're complete in box. And I think I'm going to be keeping them despite them not technically being new. It's just such a hassle to contact GameStop, especially if you don't have a store that's local to you. I suppose I can try to contact them online or by phone or something, but it's such a hassle, and I think with these games I don't really need to be too nitpicky. Though I do encourage anyone that if you order from GameStop and receive something that's not satisfactory, definitely try to contact them to get a refund or something.
That's very, very smart.
It's definitely
Very,
a
very
avenue
good.
most people
Smart
do
girl.
not utilize as much as they should. All right, so now we're down to this last package. Arrived in this envelope, which I hate bubble mailers. I always have the worst luck and get cracked cases in these, but hopefully these are okay. These are all Switch games that released within the past year and a half, so relatively new. One's a Square Enix title, one is an NAS title, and one's another publisher, which I'll show when it comes out.
So, first game is the other publisher one. So I have Genesis Noir here, and it is opened. It looks like whatever GameStop it came from, they already attempted to remove the sticker, but there's still some residue left over, so I'll have to clean that up with some Goo Gone.
When there's a mic in your hand, there's a mic in your heart. The world needs.
I hate the one thing I hate buying games from GameStop and the nasty stickers, man. He used to put. I remember they used to put so many stickers. They used to put one on the front, the back, and the spine, and then like they would put like and it would slap them like 2 or 3 of them on top of each other, and it would just go nasty and sticky. But I remember getting a freaking I don't know, yeah. Hair dryer, warm up the sticker and peel them off.
Published
Do
by
that.
Forge, and it's kind of like a point-and-click noir adventure. And I just love the art style. I've actually found it very difficult to find just the standard copy of this because on Amazon, I think they only list the big collector's edition. That's humongous, and I definitely don't have the space for that. But the standard edition has been very difficult to track down, except on GameStop. And thankfully, this was only $20. It's, I think, regularly $40, so it was half off, and that's the lowest price I've seen it. Alright, so there are some weird punctures on the bottom of the case here, which is unfortunate. I know online Nintendo offers just generic Switch cases you could buy in bulk, so I've been thinking of just doing that for some of my Switch games that arrive in not such great condition.
Nice.
But inside, it looks like it still has these stickers, as well as this lenticular card, which is really neat. And I want to say this is a poster. There's some questionable gunk on it. And the inside cover art is top-notch as well. As I mentioned with the last package, I don't think there's enough at fault here for me to go through the hassle of returning it. Again, because I've had such a difficult time trying to find just the standard copy of this game everywhere. But I've heard really good reviews of this, and I'm looking forward to giving this a shot. Okay, so the next game here is a sealed game, and that is Tactics Ogre.
Ooh.
So this is the remake or the reborn version. I think they've remade this a few times now. They did it on the PSP, and so this is the new one that's on the Switch, I think, as well as the PS4 and PS5. And from what I hear, this is a notoriously difficult strategy RPG from Square Enix. And I really do enjoy strategy RPGs, so I'm curious, I guess, if my skills are up to par. I have played, for example, Fire Emblem games on hard mode before, so I feel like I should be okay. If not, I probably could look up strategies of how to get through some of the more difficult levels, where I hear there's some like level caps or something. That's what really makes it difficult. But I'm pleased that I'm still building up my strategy RPG collection. I feel like there's so many more games that I still haven't picked up yet. It's just great how much the Switch in particular has had so many releases for that subgenre. But of course, this is always just adding to the never-ending backlog that someday I'll eventually, hopefully, get to. So last but not least is the NIS title that I picked up. And unfortunately, it is opened, but it is Process of Elimination. It looks like the same GameStop attempted to take off the sticker on here as well. So my guess is these stickers used to say pre-owned, but I don't see any new stickers on actually any of the games I picked up in these 2 packages. So let's see what it looks like inside. I forgot to mention prices, but Tactics Ogre as well as Process Elimination were both $25 each. That was during the 50% off sale. And when it comes to the case condition, there is an indent on the back, but it's very minor compared to the other ones that I've seen today.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It does look like someone closed this improperly, so the OST is a little bit crumpled. But it does include the little mini art book, which is good, as well as the reversible art cover. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed things about this visual novel. A lot of people were hyping it up as something that's sort of like Danganronpa, very detective, methodical, but kind of weird scenario visual novels. But the few reviews that I've seen online have kind of mentioned that some of the gameplay and mystery stuff was a little bit esoteric, or rather, they didn't really seem to make a lot of sense, and they weren't really fun to play through. So I'm hoping that my playthrough will be a bit more positive than some of their experiences. I do believe this is actually a Nippon Ichi software game, so I do want to support more of those games to get localized over here because they have so many cool ones that are just tucked away in Japan. But yeah, hopefully my experience with this game is a bit more positive than what I've seen so far online. And there we have it. Looks like we have a 50-50 split of sealed games and opened games, but with cases, thankfully. So far, it seems like I've dodged the bullet of getting a generic case with a brand new sticker just slapped on top of it. But let me know if you've also ordered new games from GameStop.
Anything else? Look at the game. That was a pretty interesting.
Deliver the joy this year with gifts for the friends who bring the party. Find gifts for her at Saks.com.
Some people can handle the power of Bragg apple cider vinegar. And to those people...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. As always, if you guys find me for the very first time, you guys enjoy this video, please do me a favor, smash that like and subscribe button. So GameStop has a sale going on right now. Buy two, get one free. So you buy two pre-owned games, you get one free, as well as they have a lot of sales going up to 50% off a lot of their games. And if you actually click on here, there's a huge, large library of really good games that they have going on sale right now, including games that are like less than $10. They have games that are less than $9.99, and I really took advantage of that sale. So I went ahead and I picked up 6 games from GameStop.com. Now I'm kind of scared. If you guys ever bought games from GameStop.com, you know that sometimes you get them in their loose disc. I kind of hear something loose in there now. You hear that? Oh my God, I'm afraid. And sometimes you never know what you're going to get. You might get the case, you might not get the case. And I'm just feeling this. There's no way there's 6 game cases in here. So I'm a little worried about that. I did get them really cheap. 6 games for like $40. So not bad. They're all PlayStation exclusive with the exception of one Xbox game. I just got a PS5, so I wanted to go back and get some of those exclusives. So I went back, ordered a couple.
Let's see if this is good or not.
Got one Xbox game, but that sound, that scares me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing. And like I said, I am really afraid. There's 4 cases in here. One of the cases are broke. So the first game, Cyberpunk. This was the one Xbox game that I did get, was Cyberpunk. So yeah, I know this is not the best game in the world, but it was $10 and it was buy one get one free, so I got it pretty much for nothing. So yeah, and you can see it's kind of ripped back there. Oh no, that's not ripped. That's the way the case actually looks. Okay, sure.
Hey, see, I got me one.
Ooh, that's not good.
I got me one of those
That's not
steel
good
discs.
at all.
Steel collector's
That
edition.
is
I think
not
that's the one I
good
got.
at all. At all, that's not good. Not.
Give me a copy of
But the case looks like
Cyberpunk.
it's in really, really good condition, so that's a positive. So now all I have to worry about is the fact that the other games, what kind of condition they're going to be in. So that's something I'm worried about. So overall, this one is in pretty good condition. Not bad. Pretty good condition overall. So yeah, not too bad. So let's get to the other one. The other one is holy shit.
Ooh my god.
Wow.
That is
Whoa,
bad.
what the fuck, bro?
That is so broken, man.
They don't give a fuck, man. Oh my
Well, they
god.
threw 6 games in one fucking
Wow. How do they ship shit like that?
bubble mail it. You're not supposed to put that many.
Dude, are you kidding me right now?
You did a real bad job.
Wow.
Get your money back,
How do
bro.
they ship shit like that? That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that they ship stuff like that. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
That's some fucking bull.
Last of Us Remastered. And this one, another loose game. Case looks to be in better condition. It's like, dude, they just whip these things right out the door, man. They just whip these things right out the door. Oh my god, like I still can't get over this. I still can't get over this.
Oh god, man.
Jesus.
I'll be torn, man.
Oh wait, I'm missing a game. I got 4 games. I must have another package coming. Because I'm missing 2 games. Horizon Zero Dawn's in great condition. This is in really good condition. So these two are in great conditions. These two are in really good conditions. Other than a little bit of the side being messed up.
I think it's also because they put that steel book in there. Like it takes up a lot of space.
This one is in pretty bad shape. This one's in pretty bad shape. So yeah. So apparently I have another package coming that didn't come with 2 other games. I'm missing 2 other games. So overall though, I mean, I can't believe they shipped these things like this, but I mean, it is what it is. At this point, like I said, I did get them really cheap. This Uncharted case is really messed up. Really, really, really messed up. Like it's just it's a mess.
Disgraceful, disgusting, and disgraceful.
Swap it out somewhere else because yeah, I can't believe they get away with selling products like that. That's insane. That's insane. Absolutely insane that they sell products like that. Oh my god. I can't even put it back. I can't even put it back. Oh my god. It's a mess. It's a mess. Alright. Got it back. Alright. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, that's my unboxing. It's kind of a mess, but tell me what you guys think. Did you guys like the video? Be sure to leave comments in the comment box below. Smash that like button, subscribe. Until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion. Later, guys.
$10 at a GameStop. I may have bought a bunch of these steel books. Alright, you know what? That's pretty good. Pretty good. thing, and I'm going to be ending my stream there. Wowzers, 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 wowzers. Hopefully you guys are, doing a better job. Hopefully you guys are going out and buying some games. Who is streaming at this time? Who is streaming at this time? We will be rating Wolfie. He's playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare campaign. Because he's playing the campaign early. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know it's a pretty long stream, like 3 hours. Almost 3 hours of me just ranting and raving about physical versus games. So please, people, you guys can go out and buy these games physically. Have a copy. Have something in your hand. Don't let these companies trick you into buying digital. Buy it digitally. Nothing wrong with that. But make sure you're able to buy it physically. See you later, guys, man. See you later. Please, if you guys can, please support me as much and often as possible. I need your donations. I need your subscriptions, your Twitch Primes, your Twitch bit. The more you give, the better it is. Please, people. And if you can, please support me on Patreon. Where you can get exclusive videos and you can also vote as well. Please, people, come out and vote. Join me and support me. Make sure I'm here making some good money for you people. Oh yeah, I need to see if I can get the email back from the winner of the Evil Within 2 copy. See you later and goodbye.